I started to back away when I found inconsistencies in stories. The icing on the cake is we went to Chicago where she filmed the Oprah Winfrey Show. And she was up on the platform boo-hooing and crying to Oprah, touching everybody in the audience, touching me. I was like, damn, I didn't know Corinne had that in her, you know? And I'm seeing this person that I initially met, or so I thought. And after she came off the soundstage, I said, "Dang, Corinne, that was really beautiful. You touched everybody, yada, yada, yada." She looked at me and said, "Negro, you fell for that. I've been practicing my Oprah Winfrey cry since I was a little girl." That was devastating for me.
When I seen her on Oprah, I'm like, you know, that's some funny shit. Because Oprah doesn't like rappers or hip-hop artists on her show. But the slut gets the slot. I don't feel her story is uplifting or enlightening to young little girls. She slept with a bunch of fucking rappers and ball players and whatever the case may be, and she wrote a book about it. But I don't think it's something that should be on Oprah.
So after the Oprah Winfrey Show, I backed off. I began to see who she was. I began to listen to her speak. I began to hear things that she was doing to people. And what I know now is that she is the epitome of a wolf in sheep's clothing. And she now has allowed me to recognize a wolf when I see one.
Now a best-selling author and basking in the exposure from her Oprah appearance, Corinne seemed destined to escape the seedy world of hip-hop for greener pastures. But the bones from her past continued to fall out of the closet. Vivid Video decided to cash in on her newfound mainstream success and re-release Corinne's infamous blowjob scene with Mr. Marcus. It was repackaged and distributed simply under the apt title, Superhead.
Right when Vivid really decided to re-release it, that was a lot of me going to them saying, yo, you know, you're sitting on something really special. This girl's all over the place. You know, you should make a deal happen. She didn't want it. She tried to fight it. You know, she had the lawsuit. I was always telling her to embrace that motherfucker. You know, take it on. She's empowering herself. The kicker was, when they decided to do everything, she appears on Oprah. And then she's denouncing everything, you know, the way people were selling sex and the girls and leading and all these things. And it was crazy because with her, I think, I don't know, she's sexual, she sells sex, she's a sexy person. But at one point, she don't want to be associated with that shit. Is that a woman? I don't know.
Then I hear about a fucking a sex tape that's out. Fucking Irv Gotti and Superhead, right? So I go on that shit, I check it out. It's the fucking BJ scene, the blowjob scene with me and that bitch. I'm like, this ain't fucking Irv Gotti, man. This is me and that bitch, man. Irv, if you listening, nigga, got your back, nigga.
Like they say, there's no such thing as bad press. And all of Corinne's media exposure, whether positive or negative, only helped to keep her book on the bestsellers list. And Confessions was stirring up controversy and speculation, not only for what it said, but for what it didn't say. One of the greatest mysteries in the book was the true identity of the hip-hop artist that Corinne frequently noted as the only person who truly stole her heart. A man she would only refer to as Papa.
I don't suppose you're gonna tell me who Papa is, are you? That's the biggest question going on in New York City right now.
No, I'm not gonna be able to tell you that, Ed. He really deserves to be kept anonymous, especially in his hometown.
That narrows everything down, right? Yeah, like this is getting good now.
Corinne finally revealed the truth when she dropped her second book, The Vixen Diaries. Papa was none other than hip-hop superstar Method Man. One person who particularly feels the sting of that revelation is the woman who claims to be the mother of Meth's twin sons, industry hanger-on, Modest Jones.
Since we're talking about Superhead, I'll just start off here. I read Superhead's, both of her books. Mainly I read the second one because one day somebody got in my car and read me the last couple pages where she writes a letter to Method Man. When I read that letter, I fucking threw the book across the room, first of all. I'm not gonna start crying or nothing. I started crying. It made me really upset because just reading what she wrote to him, like that she was like so in love with him and like her situation with him. Like when I read the first book, everyone was like, you know she's talking about Meth. And I as much as a lot of the stuff she was saying reminded me of him, I didn't want to believe it was him because I just found out that this dude is married, and I thought that for some reason I was special, there wasn't a million other of me out there, mistress type chicks or whatever. With her, when I was pregnant, I had got a phone call from somebody in Connecticut saying that Superhead was on Wendy Williams. I guess they had asked her, do you think that you fucked up Meph's marriage with your book or whatever? And she was like, I don't think I fucked up anything. He's got a girl out there pregnant with twins is the one that's fucking up the marriage. Obviously probably not knowing that she was talking about me. If I fucked up, guess what? I'm 25, I'm single, never been married. Now, if I wanted to be a straight slut and fuck everyone and not know who my baby's daddy is, that's my problem. You're a married man and you're 36 years old with your own kids and stuff. You should be a lot smarter than I am. And really, Superhead just really kind of put me on a little bit because I kind of got onto the game that this is nothing new for him. If anything, I think that Superhead made me stronger because she made me feel like, you know what? This chick really got her therapy. She wrote out what she was really feeling and got her therapy. I respect her. I would definitely put out a book and tell all too. And I think she has a lot of balls. And I think that no one can say shit to her because she could pay her own bills and buy her own shit and that she doesn't have to answer to any man or anyone anymore.
Of course, not everyone found the Vixen Diaries to be quite so enlightening. After his brief friendship with Corinne, Norwood Young soon realized that even the most casual of conversations could be manipulated to serve as fodder for a chapter in a Corinne Steffens book.
I don't understand how me, little Norwood Young, is the first chapter of your book, and I ain't even got none. I ain't hit it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I found it to be quite intriguing that you would find me that interesting to sell your book. And then when she told me she was doing it, okay, I can't stop anybody. But when I read the chapter is when I couldn't believe it. So she in turn did screw me too, just not physically.
The first chapter of the diaries is devoted exclusively to Norwood, wherein she alleges, among other things, that Norwood pays for his lavish lifestyle by serving as a high-priced prostitute to the Hollywood elite, all of which Norwood insists are complete fabrications.
What pissed me off the most is, I guess in general conversation from the first day that we actually met, she must have had a tape recorder in her pocketbook, because every instance that took place that night is in that chapter. What I had on, where we sat, who was in the room. I mentioned to her that my mother's first name was Betty. And in the book, she says that I told her of all these things and all these secret people that I slept with, men or women, and blah, blah, blah. And the only reason she couldn't expose it in this book is because she wouldn't want to kill my mother, Betty. Now, all that other stuff is just not true. I'm not gay. I didn't tell her nothing. I'm a smart man. Why would I tell a journalist or a publisher what the hell I do so it could be in print? That's just dumb. But for you to mention my mother's name was it. People in publications have written feeling sorry for me or happy for me that I've supposedly come out and found myself and this, that, and the other based on this crap that Corinne has said. DJ calls me and says, man, you got to come on the show. You got to tell us the brothers that's on the down low. You got to let us, who is it? I don't know. And if I did, I wouldn't tell it. How about that? And not to her, because I didn't sleep with her in a weird kind of way, she resents me because she couldn't get me that way. So that was her way of getting me back. Yes, she was attractive, but she was just too loose with it. And I don't want to do or be able to say I've had the same experience that everybody in town has had. Had she not been so obvious to me from jump that I could have got it, she might have later on down the line. But I'm not just anybody else, and I'm not jumping at it. So if she would have really been a pimp,